So my camera died the last time I tried to film this. This is like the next day or so. We're going drifting in the morning. My rollback's out running. I'm ready to get to it. All right, but this is where I'm at with the S13. Ready for the body man. Alright, so what I did is this is like a 1 inch, inch and a half flat stock, and so I cut out the factory stuff because it was rotted out here, but I ended it with the plate. But so like this is double the height. So the reason I did this is if this would have landed down, you know, lower, then the whole piece would have been rolled more down. I mean, so I would have had to lower the top part to make that land right there. And so had I not brought this up, this would have been almost too low and it'd been about where it was factory. So I added that just to elevate it, to move it up. And then I've seen some where they come off of this and actually turn, you know, that way. And so I didn't want to do that because, you know, that if you go, you know, back that way, well, that doesn't help you with your turning radius. That's what you're trying to get anyway right here. So that didn't work. So I went ahead and just went this way. I couldn't find a wider trailer fenders, so I had to get some more sheet metal and just follow the contour of that and add it to it. And then I just put two pieces of plate and followed that. My body guy will fill all that stuff in, but you can see I'm not a welder, but I ended it on the strut tower. I done it myself, never seen it done. I've never done one of these before. I finally got the welder working halfway decent. It still doesn't seem the best. It works. Doesn't work great. Then the primer is a acid etch primer, Raptor acid etch primer. That's what I used. Let me tell you, this stuff is awesome. Like, I mean, it really fills some of the voids and imperfections. So what I did on the sides is I just boxed it in on the corner, and I put a, you know, piece of angle down here. There's a piece of wire hanging, but still. And then I cut out the strut tower as far back as I could. I had to put a plate in on this side because it was completely rusted through. And I put these small pieces that made it more sturdy. Once I put those on, I just locked it in. And so, alright, so the kit for one of these tubs, I think I seen $600, not counting shipping and or taxes or any of that stuff. I might have $3 and some change in it, maybe. I may have a little more than that, but I have quite a bit of material left. You know, I have, you know, another piece of the plate, some of the grinding stuff, some of the stuff for the welder. Some of that was included in what I bought. So I'm gonna say roughly about 300 bucks finished product. $20 a can for the acid etch primer. In case you decide to go that route, it's $20 a can. Yeah, it's ready for the body man. I don't know if I did a good job or not as far as what the body man will say. I don't know. I feel they're fairly straight. They're at the same elevation, pretty close, best I can tell. I've measured all I could. You know, there's some places you just can't really measure off of anything. So, I mean, that's what you got. My first attempt at doing S13 tubs. And that's the finished product, at least till the body man gets a hold of it, and then he's probably gonna cuss me. But that's what we got. So, all right. It is what it is. I've never seen it done before. I didn't watch any YouTube videos. I've only actually seen one car that actually had these that I've noticed, you know, so. I don't know, maybe it, once you get paint on it, it may look bad, I don't know. But it looks okay for, you know, never done it before. And hadn't welded in forever, so yeah, we'll see where it goes. And now, I think I'm gonna start on the wiring. That doesn't cost me anything. That way the engine block is at the machine shop, getting all that balanced and all that ready. I don't know how much that'll be. But once I get that squared away, got a couple of rentals empty, I may have to jump on some rentals and work on that. I got one to go in the cord and all this stuff. But yeah, that's the TUBS S13. Alright, here we go. Alright, so I've started cutting out sections of the harness. Hadn't shortened really anything just yet, except for where the actual fuse box goes. I did shorten the wires coming out of it, and everything else I just kind of separated just to clean it up a little bit. I've got them, you know, separated by sections. The way it comes out there. But yeah, I've separated them. Got sections out just to thin it out a little bit. And then the main breaker box part, I've started thinning it out too. So both pieces of the harness where I cut it in the middle, I've started at least thinning it out, getting it a little shorter to the box. I hadn't actually shortened any of the wires in between, so I hadn't done that yet. But just by trimming up around the fuse boxes, I ended up with that much out. So, and on this side, the one that goes in on where the steering column is, that actually comes back in. Well, going back across the steering column, you end up going across the top of the dash. So I stopped right there, and I would say a majority of this wire here, a majority of that will be cut, I would say at least here, so that'll give us quite a bit off. The same way with this side, a lot of that'll be cut off, and then I need to clean up around the fuse box, shorten those. But this side, from the fuse box to that driver's side fuse box inside the car, or that block or whatever, it actually needs to stay longer. But then we'll take up all the slack between the two fuse boxes, between this one and that one. We'll take up all the slack, and then this side will shorten a lot. So the fuse box will just be right up from where it all plugs in, so most of this wire will go, a majority of it actually. So I just have to shorten it, because, you know, this where the ECU actually plugs in, and it's just going to be in the passenger side of the car. Well, so is the fuse box, so I don't need all that harness to the fuse box, and I don't need all that harness to the fuse box. So I have to shorten all of that. So I'm just kind of picking through it, trying to separate it a little bit and shorten. So I've already started shortening the pieces that didn't go to anything that went to the entire other side. For the fuse box, I went ahead and shortened those. And then around the fuse box, I shortened some of the stuff there. But all the in-betweens got to be shortened too. So, but all right, here we go. All right, boys and girls, what we got is I've got all the wiring harness, interior wiring harness. I've got it all pulled out. I've just left it laying in there for tonight, but I've got the whole dash, all the interior harness all the way around taken out. Got to finish pulling the antenna. I'll probably pull the column, and if you can see up front, I've already started pulling the fire stuff up front. I'll put some new stuff in after we get ready, but I'll probably go ahead and paint the interior. We'll pull the column. I have to get a clutch paddle and all that stuff anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull it. All that stuff's hard to get to with all the column in it, so I'll probably go ahead and change the brakes, the brake pedal and all that, pull all the harness out. It's covered in grime where this thing's been sitting, and the couple of them actually go under the car, and this thing's been full of mold and mildew and stuff, so I'll pressure wash that, clean it all off, clean everything up. I'll probably drag the car out, pressure wash it. I gotta get all the sound deadening stuff out. Some of the floor stuff's coming up, and then once we get it all disassembled, all the stuff taken out, all the, like on the sides, like all this stuff's got to be taken out, the sound deadening, all this stuff. Once we get it all broken out, I'll probably do the dry ice deal, where you take dry ice and do all that. I took the back bumper off. You can't see it right at the moment, but it's right under us here. Took all the tail lights out, got all that done. It's kind of dark. We'll turn the light around here. I got the tail light stuff out, and the bumpers using under our feet. So I do have a little surface rust right here. I'll have to work on that. There's maybe a little pitting here and there, but that's the worst of it right there. I've pulled all the seals and stuff, pulled all the hatch parts of the pieces apart, and get it ready to go ahead and start painting. And then if I can, I'll probably try to get a cage if I can afford one, and we'll have to put that in, but I may do that before I paint everything. But I'll at least get it cleaned out and get all the junk out of it. So that's the next step, but maybe tomorrow I'll try to film a little more maybe. As I've been running ragged with empty rentals and all that stuff, and I haven't filmed a lot, but tomorrow I'll probably, all this sound deadening and stuff all the way up here, I'll probably tear all that out, drag this harness out, and where the water has sit in this car, the floor on this side, I don't know that you'll be able to see that, but that's if you can see the floor right there, that pile of the black looking stuff, that's where the water has set in this thing, and that stuff just scraped up. It's between paint and some of the sound deadening stuff too. I'm gonna try to scrape all that up I can, clean it up. There may be some rust in that stuff, I don't know. I hadn't found any really, but it's been wet forever, and so it just peeled right up. So that's where I'm at with this Jewel. And because I can't really, well, I guess I could put that bar back in, pull the harness off, set the bar back in, and then figure out the links for the fuse boxes and start soldering all that together. I could do that. But once the engine block's ready, need to start going ahead and putting the head and stuff on it. But I still got to come up with the head gasket and some other stuff, water pump, oil pump, all that stuff. I don't have anything for short block. I get some stuff ordered. But anyway, that's where I'm at with it. And I'm still making decisions what brackets I'm going to pull out. I may sand some. I may prime them while they're in the car. I may pull them out and sand them and prime them. And reinstall, and some I may just take out. So it's got a sunroof, so I may end up pulling the headliner. I probably have to anyway to cage it, I would say, in this car. This is all new for me, and I didn't pull the e-brake because if I'm still moving the car until I'm ready to paint and all that, when I'm ready to install the cage or anything, I'll be able to still stop the car once it's on the ground or whatever. So I'm gonna have to pull it out, pressure wash and all that stuff anyway, so I'll look at that brake for now. But, all right, here we go.